All right, folks, Yishai Fleischer here, broadcasting from Judea. The reason that we broadcast from Judea is because the legacy media lies, right? We have these stickers that say CNN lies. I think I have a hat like that right above me. It says expose CNN. And there are many others in the media who try to besmirch Israel through the usage of their platforms. If it's Al Jazeera or the BBC or this guy by the name of Louis Theroux. Now, this guy, Louis Theroux, he's a British documentarian, self-styled journalist. The reason I say that he's self-styled is because he's very biased. He's not there to tell you the story. He's there to tell you his story. Happens to be that he came to expose the settlers, and he came to besmirch the settlers, the Jews that live in Judea and Samaria so bravely hold on to the ancestral Jewish homeland. And he made one of his programs that the whole thing is about how evil and how bad the Jews of Judea and Samaria are. The classic blood libel, a British blood libel, lives again through the work of Louis Theroux. However, this time he came across one so-called settler who's one of the best spokesmen that the Jewish people have and is also a very dear friend of mine, Ari Abramowitz. Let's watch Louis Theroux engage with Ari Abramowitz about Louis' effort to besmirch the Jewish communities of Judea and Samaria and Ari Abramowitz's defense. Let's take a look.
Where we are right now, because I think we're quite deep inside what are called the Palestinian territories.
What you call the Palestinian territories, I call it the heart of Judea. If you say the Palestinian territories, you're essentially already saying that this right here is going to be a jihadist Palestinian state right in the heart of Israel. Not only in the heart of Israel, we're talking about
But why jihadist? Why do you say jihadist? Why couldn't it just be a Palestinian state?
Okay, to understand the Arab way of thinking, that they understand there's a war. They win the war if they get territory. They lose the war if they lose territory.
How old were you when you came to Israel?
I think I was
when
16.
You moved here.
And I came here after high school to study Torah. It was supposed to be a few months. It's called the Gap Year program.
Mm-hmm.
When you breathe the air, when you taste that, when you feel mission and passion and life, you can't go back.
I think that you see that Ari is answering him so beautifully, and he's got such a beautiful place there. The Aragot farm, it speaks without speaking. It's just it's olive trees and synagogue and ancient land meets reborn people. I love the fact that he just told them that he came at the age of 16, 17 for his gap year, meaning to say you come as a young man, then you come again as when you can. He went to the army. He's making a life out of it there. He's raising children. And the organic nature of it, even Louis Theroux was not able to erase the hippie, organic Zionism that exists in the land, and that it's just the most natural and correct place for the Jewish people to be. And so it's like it's very hard to erase that, right? Even the little beginning dark music when he drove in, like he sees soldiers, he sees guns. Those guns are there for defense. But after you get past the guns, there's like a really organic, kind of crunchy, kind of land-based, certainly spiritual. And I guess, again, that word organic comes back to me, which is that's what the Jewish people, they are. We are the Jews from Judea back in the Judean highlands. And that's kind of the heart of the land of Israel, the state of Israel. The truth of the matter is that the Jewish people were on the land for 1,500 years before the advent of Islam. And we already had two commonwealths, right? 3,000 years ago and 2,000 years ago. And Islam came around about 1,400 years ago. Simply, Judaism and the Jewish people and our civilization in the land of Israel predates both Christianity and then Islam. And that's why so much of the Quran is about the Jews and about the land of Israel and Jews living in the land of Israel. And also the Christian texts are also about the Jewish people in the land, because they're retelling the story of our original story, which is, I guess, our origin story, which is Abraham in the land, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the families that they built, and later Joshua, and later King David and Solomon, and later the Second Temple period. We had thousands of years of civilization before the other great religions came on the scene. And that's important because we are indeed indigenous to this land. The connection of others, for example, Islam is a conquest religion that came around much, much later. That doesn't mean there's no connection to the land, but it means that there's somebody there before you. There's somebody there that has a historical connection to this land, an indigenous connection, and of course, a spiritual and godly and biblical connection. And these connections are of a different order of magnitude than that Islam and the Arabs have. Not to deny that people have been living here for hundreds of years. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that they have some connection to the land, but not, I would have said that they may have individual rights, but not national rights. There's no national claim. That's our problem with the word Palestinian. Maybe there's a people who refer to themselves, self-identify as Palestinian. I don't deny that. But if you want to tell me that there's a nation that has national claims on this land, that'll be like, no, that's not correct. There is no Palestinian nation, and certainly no other nation that has a superior claim, a historical claim on this land. I think that Ari did a great job. And also in introducing God into the language and getting Louis Theroux to be like, a little bit mystified from the mystical, and to be awed by the tenacity of people like Ari Abramowitz and people that live in Judea and Samaria, the so-called West Bank. All right, that was a lot of fun, and I think Ari did a great job, and I want to thank you for doing a great job because you are part of our programming. So please continue to be part of our programming by going to buymeacoffee.com/Yishai, which is a great way to support the Jews of Judea and Samaria, our right to broadcast the truth, teaching the Torah to the nations, and getting the word of God out without embarrassment or shame. Although it couples perfectly with rationality and law. Because guess what? God is super rational, and our story is super rational, miraculous, and beautiful. And also, you could join us as a fighter for Israel because you're part of the fight. Fightforisrael.org. Join us at fightforisrael.org and support all of our efforts. And we thank you so much. Not only do we thank you, but when you support us, I give you a biblical promise, which is when you bless us, when you bless Israel, when you bless our programming, you're getting blessed right back. That's just automatic. Those who bless the Jewish people are blessed right back. Thank you to my teammates, everybody that makes this show possible. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, be part of it. Join our live streams on Sundays and just be part of the family. God bless you wherever you are. Lots of love and lots of blessings from the land of blessings, and shalom.